Hello and welcome to Pratik Chess Videos.
Here test friends, today we are going to see game between Morphy and Anderssen in the year of 1858. So let's start the amazing game. The game started with e4, c5 after Labordani's and Staunton. Anderssen was the one of the pioneers of the Sicilian defense. Knight f3, knight c6, d4, c into d4, knight into d4, e6, knight b5, and then d6. Well, it is hard to believe that this modern tabia occurred a century and a half ago. Means that's 150 years. And now bishop to f4. This was Fischer's favorite move, but nowadays Karpov's move c4. Uh, But now everyone began preferring Karpov's favorite move c4 in this position. So bishop to f4 was played in the game, but e5 now, well, bishop e3 and then f5, which is a mistake. More than 100 years were required in order to show that after knight f6, see now knight f6, then bishop to g5 and then bishop to e6, and after bishop g5 bishop e6, black has nothing to worry about. For example, well, let's see example variation: knight 1 c3, a6, knight a3, and then d5 is one move. But before that, white improves with bishop into f6, g into f6, knight a3, and then d5. So gladly delete this. Bishop into f6, g into f6, knight a3, and then d5. The thing played. So yep. So that this d5 everything happened, which is actually a good move in the game. Fischer Petrosian in their first match game 1971 candidates match. However, Anderssen, with his aggressive style, wanted to hasten a crisis in the center. Previously, such methods had worked for him, but now will be an exception. Knight 1 c3, good move. Morphy sensed that chess logic was on his side and he found a immediate refutation of black's premature activity. Now f4, if a6, which is then knight d5, good move, sacrificing a knight. Because after a into b5, now bishop to b6 is played, and after queen to h4, the most active move, knight c7 check, king d7, and then knight into a8, queen into e4 check, queen e2 is decisive. And after knight to f6, well, after knight to f6, bishop to g5 is played, and then a6, g5, a6, and after a6, well, there are some variations here, but after a6, the crux of the matter is we play bishop into f6, g into f6, Very usual. So queen h5 check, king e7 is a bad move because we allow knight d5 check. That's why king to d7. So right and go. And then knight to a3, and white is a pawn off with a winning position. Sorry, a better position. So now after f4, knight to d5 was played, which is a good move. F into e3, there's already no way back. So f into e3. Knight b to c7 check. King to f7. And then queen to f3 check. Dubious move. Knight into a8 was probably stronger. For example, e into f2 check, king into f2, queen to h4 check, g3, queen into e4, knight e2. But Morphy did not want to divert his sights from the enemy king, and this presumptuousness allowed him some counter chances. For whom? For black, obviously. So, well, after queen f3 check, knight f6, bishop to c4, now knight to d4, good move. The tactics here are pretty complicated because many things are hanging at once. You can't uh, really understand the position, who is winning, who's not. And after knight into f6 check, now pause the video and think what should you play for black. Now black's best bet of defense is to play d5. Nice move, what a move. Oh, nice count, nice intermediate. Now, well, now why is king e7 bad? King e7 is bad because knight of d5 check, king to d7, queen to f7 check, bishop e7, king to c6 is played, then knight to b4 check, then it's mating, so queen f7 check, bishop e7, and then f into e3, rook f8, and now after rook to f8, instead of rook to f8, knight into c2 check comes king to e2, so that's not good either. Or better than king to e2, king to d2, that's even better. Yeah, so after f into e3, rook to f8, now comes e into d4, rook into f7, and then bishop to b5, beautiful mate. So after knight into f6 check, now d5 was played. So yep, as I said, d5. So what should we play against d5? Pause the video and think. Well. What did you guess? What did you guess? Pretty, pretty sure to find out, aren't we? Well, and well, so the thing is that after knight into f6, d5 comes. Yup, tell me. Instead of d5, king to g6, then that's also bad because we play Queen h5 check. First thing first, king into f6, and then knight into e8 check. Second thing second, because now f into e3 good move is also good, but well, just knight e8 check also suffice. But knight e8 check also suffices because you need to take on e8, and that's very bad. Because I take knight into c2 check, and then well, d5 is long castle. So d5 with the idea of bishop b4 check is long castle. So that's why knight into c2 check. But then after knight into c2 check, king f1, and then e2 check. E2 check. Now that's wild. Now that's a good move because now bishop into e2, knight into a1. Well, the whole idea is not to open the f file. That's why e2 check. And then after all of this, just to play g4, and black here, despite the favorable material balance, is helpless against the new wave of the attack. Alright, let's go to the game. Too many variations, man. Alright, bishop into d5 check. So I'm going to bishop into d5 check, the critical moment of the battle. Now king to g6 was played. Mistake and oversight. Black here thought that after queen h5 check, king into f6, queen f7 check, king to g5, he would be able to save the king, but he overlooked f into e3 instead of queen f7 check, which results in a successful attack on the f file. Yup, king e7 would have caused more problems to white, but well, king g6 was played, and after check here into e3, it was a good move. Perhaps Anderssen was hoping that his young opponent would lose the way in the mass of tactical complications, but Morphy maintained a clear head. It turns out that the king can be finished on the open f file, not only in the king's gambit. So after knight into c2 check, and then king to e2, and now black resigned in view of the continuation. Knight into a1, rook f1 check, king e7, and then queen into e5 check, then king to d7, bishop to e6 check, then king to c6, rook to c1 check, then king to b6, and then queen to b5 mate. So this was the amazing game. What lessons did we learn from the game? Well, we learned from the game the lesson that firstly, you should not target the king when you should not be such a yes. All right. So the thing is that you don't want to target a king when when your king is uh, not so secure. So that's the thing of the whole game. So this was the game. I hope you like this video. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and the bell icon. Thank you.